Welcome along to the Rated RR podcast with Rish Roshan Rai and Ziaul Raushan. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, listening on Spotify, we're also on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts now. So just to get a bit of housekeeping out of the way, if you are enjoying the content that we've been putting up, just do the usual stuff, like, subscribe, share, follow, whatever it is. Now that I've got that out of the way, let me introduce our guest for today's show. And I'm delighted to say we've got a Singaporean on the show who is doing us all proud, flying the flag across the causeway, all the way up north in Kedah with the Kedah Darul Aman in the Malaysia Super League. Aidil Sharin, thanks for joining us. Aidil, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me here.
Aidil, thank you so much for joining us. Very pleased to have you on the show. I just want to talk about the recently concluded season. Third best attack in the league, fourth best defense, second highest number of wins after JDT, and best goal difference after JDT. Wow. What's your assessment of the season?
I think overall, I'm very pleased with the result. You know, the way we stand, the boys' performance, because it's not easy. This season we had a lot of up and down. I think everyone knows because of the COVID situation, and because also AFC suddenly cancelled last minute after all the preparation. So credit have to go to all the players and all the coaching staff for where we are now in the second spot. But the most important, I think, we have to improve and looking forward for this coming Malaysia Cup matches.
Yeah, actually, Aidil, I was going to ask you about that Malaysia Cup that's coming up. How are the preparations going for that competition? You're going to be up against Melaka United, Negeri Sembilan, who are winners of the Premier League. And one more team is still sort of, as of now we're recording, we're still waiting for confirmation of that fourth team. What are preparations like? How do you think that competition is going to go for you?
I think the preparation is as per normal. Yeah, we do as per normal because we after the last game of the league, we got a good 5 days break. Yeah, to make sure the boys fully recover, because we play a lot of back-to-back in the league. You know, every 3 days, one game. For 9 games in a month, so not easy for the players. We have a very small squad. Yeah, we only have like 25 players, and definitely we need a good recovery. So I think the boys have a very good recovery, and now we're really going all out for this Malaysia Cup, and hopefully we are all at the best and no injuries for this coming game.
Yeah, I mean, you've got actually a pretty decent record in the cup competitions. I mean, even with your time at Home United, I think 2017 ASEAN Zone final, 2018 you won the ASEAN Zone final, and then you sort of brought that with you when you went to Kedah, Malaysia FA Cup in 2019, the Malaysia Cup final in 2019 as well. I was actually there at the stadium for that game. It was a tough encounter. I know you were missing several players in that one. You know, in general, as I said, you got a good record in these cup competitions. Is there a particular reason for that?
I think maybe just my man management towards the players. Yeah, I think that's the most important for me in coaching, because you know, in coaching everyone can coach, but to motivate players to you know, have the good man management with the team and the players, it's not easy. But I learned a lot. But this is the key thing that, you know, we have to bring forward to the players. Every game, take one game at a time. The most important is to be focused and stay injury free. And for Kedah, they have a very good mindset. The players, when cup game, they are very eager. They're very strong together as a team. The team spirit is good. So I'm looking forward to go with them this coming cup game.
We talk about cup competition. We'll ask you more on your man management style as well in a while. But I just want to talk about the league again. Is there any chance of anyone catching JDT? How do you feel? You know, you guys do so well, yet JDT is always the glass ceiling, you know. Is it difficult for you guys?
Very difficult for me, honestly, because in the league, there's only like 4 teams that have 2 teams, right? They have first team and second team, right? So teams like JDT, Selangor, Perak, and Terengganu, right? They have 50 players to choose. And let's not forget, they have 9 foreigners to choose every game, right? So for me, for my club, you know, when 2 foreigners injured, we only can play with 3 foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So this is the thing that the difference between the four teams and the other team, because JDT, we know they are different class. They have the best facilities. They have good players. They're even first team and second team. Even they're foreigners. So definitely you can see the difference is they are very, very consistent in every game in the league. So definitely we have to give credit to them. And I think for myself, we have to do with what we have. And but I'm still happy and fortunate that 2 years in a row we get second in the league, second best in the country.
Yeah, is there though like an element of a sense of frustration that you've come close? I mean, look, with you at Kedah, there's been a clear progression. Fourth the first season, second, bringing them into the AFC Cup. You've even played in I think in the Champions League qualifying round, if I'm not mistaken. So there's definitely that progression there. But do you feel like there's that ceiling and that sense of frustration with yourself or within the squad? And how do you sort of try and motivate yourself or motivate the players?
It is. When you look at the second round, we are 1 point behind GDT. And we are playing at home. We are controlling the game, in the 80 minutes. And in the 90 minutes, they got one penalty and they won the game. And after that, they climbed, 3 points ahead of us again. So definitely, the frustration is there. But it takes me a few days to calm down, because it's easy to be up there and chase there and nearly there. But, sometimes this is football. We have to accept, the luck play a part. And but still, I have to accept it, as a coach, and we have to move on after that.
I want to understand, you talk about JDT being different class, being facilities number one, squad number one almost. But is it a good thing that they dominate Malaysian football so much for Malaysian football? I mean, like one team and then the rest of the team. Is that a good thing?
I think there's a good and bad, honestly. Yeah. If you look at it, if they don't dominate, every club are slipping. So when they're up there, everyone is trying to chase and everyone trying to prove themselves and to follow their footsteps. But in Malaysia, it's totally different. Compared to Singapore, because Singapore they have a good really budget system. In Malaysia, because of a changing politics and that. So JDT, for me, they have the best owner. And they are very really top class in arranging, from small details to big. So that's why it's difficult for the rest to follow or to level themselves up like JDT. But everyone are trying their best. Even the lower club, the middle club. So the most important for us, I think, we have to always try and be close as possible.
And when you first got to your club as well, what was your plan of action? Run us through how you got settled and then set yourself up to succeed, as Roshan pointed out at Kedah. What is the Aidil Sharin method?
I think first, really, it's not easy, because first time to go out, from Singapore and to a club that have a huge history, right? They have a lot of cup game. But I did a lot of research before coming down. My former player was there, Ken Ilso. He was playing for Kedah 2017, and he was playing for us from 14 to 16. So I did communicate a lot with him, especially knowing how individual players, right? How's the fans and how's the management. So that really helps me to settle down. When I came in, I already knew half step, what to do and what not to do. And be careful of whatever good things and the bad things. Because every team, they have different set of mindset of players. So what I do is, when I step in, I spoke to the owner, and they told me, okay, you can have a fresh team. You can get rid of any player you want. So I get rid of the negative players first. That's the most important. Team. Because I myself a player, Roshan, no. So we must get a good, healthy and family, players in the team so that we can have one mindset together.
Yeah.
Yep, and a strong mentality, every game to go for winning, and even we lost, we still have a good bonding to say that there's no one to blame. Me as a coach, I will take the blame. You guys players just do your part and follow the game plan. Yeah. So after a while, the players get used to my system, used to my philosophy in football. So that's where I'm very fortunate that the two side linked together in the same. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, you've been in the job long enough now. And for pro coaches, I love speaking to coaches in the dugout because it's great getting insight from guys like yourselves. And you've been in the job long enough. And you mentioned research is perhaps half the battle, learning about the teams, learning about the players, kind of the same in punditry research, you got to do a lot of research on the teams going into it. But what I wanted to ask you is, do you have like a sort of framework that you think is now, you've got this stable framework that if you were to move on, you could apply that to clubs going forward as well?
Yeah, definitely is a must, for me, because like what you say, whatever we do, we have to do a lot of research framework so that whatever you wants to go forward is easier. Yeah, and make it us more confident. I think that's the most important because to deal with the players, 30 players, different mindset is not easy.
Yeah.
Yep. And to manage the management with different mindset, also not easy.
Yeah.
So everything have to be, in the right way, in the proper way, and also have to be in a what they call like polite way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that even though something is wrong, it still can be discussed. It still can be correct, and after that it can amend it, and after that we can go in the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's fascinating, because I was actually going to bring up the fact that it's not just managing players and personalities of players on the pitch. You're sort of caught in the middle there, and you got to manage upwards.
Yes.
with management, upper management, and things like that. So how does that sort of relationship work? How are you different from with the players and with the upper management?
Honestly, here some state team in Malaysia is not easy because in Singapore we just deal with chairman, right? We deal with MB, they call Menteri Besar.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to deal with the Raja, the King's son. Yeah. And don't forget, in Kedah, they have 32 heads of fans. Imagine.
Yeah.
You can't please everyone, and you have to bring them together. It's not easy, but I think the way how I speak to them, how I meet up with them, I think with my ways, I think both sides are easy. And I think, whenever I spoke to them, whenever we finish the conversation or the meeting, I think everyone are happy because I deal not only on my way, because I believe it's always two ways to make things better and improve. Yeah, sometimes, of course, we don't agree, but we find solution after that to make it, both sides agree. So that makes easy and no hard feelings between each other. And after we leave the door, that's it.
Yeah.
I think so that's the most important for me to deal with the higher level and even the players. Some senior players, they have big ego. But how we deal with them, like here, the foreigners, they're getting paid very, very high. Yeah, some of them are my striker, they're national player. So you must know how to deal with them. Some of them, you need to deal individually, not in front of the rest. Their reputation, their ego. So every coach have a different way, but I'm happy with how slowly I learn and I deal with these players and management. So I will try to also improve myself also.
Okay, let's bring it to matters on the pitch now. And what is, for people who maybe are unfamiliar with Aidil Sharin's style and his teams, how would you describe your game model, and how would you describe your style of coaching or your style of play to people out there?
For me, I love attacking football. Yeah, I love goals. I love fans to see our team scoring goals and play good football. But in certain games we have to be different. We got no choice. Like team like JDT, if you are not superior than them, you have to defend. You have to use a lot of different set of tactical, like counter attacks, defending deep and soak and counter them. So it's different in every games. I don't like every game same tactical.
Yeah.
I believe that every game they have different
Strengths and weaknesses and things like
weaknesses.
that. Yeah.
So definitely every game we have to use where is the weaknesses, how to counter them. But the most important for me, in training with the players, I want the players to just work hard and enjoy it. Yeah, 90 minutes, no more than that, because I always tell them, you're fortunate, you're only working for 2 hours in a day. High paid. So make fully use of it in the field.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's simple. Yeah.
I think we got a bit of insight there into how you motivate your players. But I also want to understand, you mentioned earlier, dealing with bigger personalities, dealing with egos, and then dealing with everybody being happy, because you can only pick 11 players. You have a squad of 25. How do you balance all of this in terms of man management?
Not easy, because some players will still not be happy with you when they don't get a chance to play or don't get selected in the lineup or in the 18 in the game. But this is where sometimes what I do is like, okay, we prepare a friendly game for them the next day or next 2 days, so that they get still minutes to play, although it's not the real one, but players they wants to play. Yep. So we have to compensate something that they don't get one, but they get the other one. Yep.
They still get their match day feeling almost if they get a chance to play.
I think they get some game time, some match fitness under their belt. As Aidil was saying,
And me myself have to come down even when the reserve play. I still do to be there to support them, to encourage them. Yep. Normally other clubs, they will let the second coach, or the assistant to deal with it, and the head coach will rest. But for me, I'm still there. I'm still encouraging the players, even though they make mistake in the game halftime. I'll just keep telling them positively. Yeah. So to make them more, they are important also. I think that's the most important in to convince the player to be on your side always.
Yeah, that's key, because I know I've experienced it myself with some coaches, and I've seen it around where if you're not maybe a part of the first 11, then the coach doesn't really pay much attention to you, in those situations. So this is perfect. I mean, respecting the players in and around you. Aidil, I've got a question here that's kind of heavy for you actually.
Okay.
You ready? How are you planning to sort of evolve Kedah and kind of take them to the next level? Because I'd imagine, you're all about progression as well, right? You don't want to rest on your laurels.
Yeah.
I think it's all about financial.
Okay.
It's all about financial to get the best facilities. We don't have one. We ran. Even the gym also we ran. So we are not a team like Selangor, Terengganu, and JDT. They have their own facilities. Yeah, for us here, if I want to do extra training with the reserve, or even to the injured players that are just coming back, it's not easy, because we need to book, we need to rent. Yeah, especially with this period, COVID, it's not easy. Everything is not open to public because you don't own one. So I think it's all about financial and good facilities, and then you can have a good structure of, what kind of team you want. Yeah. So it takes time, not easy. Yeah, but I'm here to help them to build bit by bit, because I think the culture here, they really don't really accept changes very fast, very slow, and they're very relaxed. So hopefully, I can help them in future. One day I leave, I'll be happy to see them better and to the next level.
No, this insight I'm glad that you're on the show, and this insight is absolutely fascinating. Honestly, it's brilliant, because I don't think, Raushan, we know what really goes on behind the scenes in situations like that.
Yeah, we watch 90 minutes of football possibly from Malaysia, but we don't understand how much work goes into the behind the scenes stuff. And it's so fascinating to hear Aidil talk about not just on the pitch, concentrating on evolving that. Around it, the support structure as well has to grow. So really ideal. Thank you. Now I'd like to bring it along to some Singaporean players. You've had Shakir previously at Kedah and now Anu. Let's start with Anu. How is Anu coming along in Kedah?
I mean, Anu is a good boy. I knew him since he was in NS in Home United. Yep, he played for me 2 seasons, and he's been growing better and better. So Anu has been doing great here also. The fans slowly open up, for the ASEAN player, and he's been involving in every game. And very pleased the way he's contributing, his professionalism, his attitude on and off the field is superb, because some players keep telling me, Coach, is Singapore players always like this? They're very on time, early. They do their own stuff before training, after training. So this is where, I'm very pleased. A player who come from our country, they knew what we expect. Yep. Not only on the field, but also off the field. So Anu has been a fantastic key player in the team, and hopefully the losing point is that he's not been scoring goals a lot.
Anu, if you're listening, you know what to do then. Coach, I just have to ask you on that example, that point you brought up about setting the example, coming in on time, doing things before training. Is that something you specifically target when bringing a Singaporean abroad? Because you are Singaporean, you want to set an example for the team, and I guess maybe you want to bring in someone who can set that example for you. So do you target Singaporeans specifically?
Not really. Whenever I brought in foreigners, I always speak to them first. Why you are here? Because you need to be the example of the younger players and be a role model, and not only on the field, outside when you walk in the mall, how you behave. Everybody really look into you guys. So what I want is always discipline. You don't have to be perfect, but you know what to do as a foreigner and as a player, because they knew the house rule. In Kedah, when I place fine, it's very heavy. If you're late, 10,000 ringgit. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So even attire, if you wear different brand or whatever, 10,000 ringgit. So this is where they knew, okay, we are not going to play with this coach. We stay firm and we follow the house rule.
I think in Singapore, you come late one time with the 10,000 ringgit was about 3,000 plus, right? I think
boy.
No money for that month. But different markets. But on that sort of note, Aidil, this is quite a broad question I'm going to ask you. So feel free to pick any specific examples that you might think of. What are some of the differences you've noticed between coaching in Malaysia and in Singapore?
Like say, it's more to off the field. Yeah, off the field, because like say you have to deal with many kind of people. Yeah, they have in Singapore you only deal with our chairman. Here we have to deal with the minister, sports minister. 32 head of fans. Even the fans, sometimes they give you the lineup before the game. And after the game they even give you a lot of analyst feedback. With social media. So this is where you have to be very, very strong. Yeah, be positive or negative. And I always take it as a learning.
Yeah.
Because if you follow the negative things, you will make your mood and your moral down. So for me, I always tell myself, no way. Take it as positive. Okay. Reflect myself again. What do I do wrong? Is it correct with what they mentioned? Because sometimes they are right. Yeah, non-footballers are always wrong.
Okay, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
You can see something from outside. Yeah. So the most important thing, like I say, you have to balance it and reflect it. If it's right, you have to take it. You have to tell yourself it's right. You cannot be ego. You cannot say, no, I'm a coach, I'm better than this fella, and it's wrong. So that's it. And also in football part, the facilities. Kedah is very, very fanatic in football, but because of changing management, sometimes these markers or balls, they are not really on track.
Yeah.
And keep changing, kidman. They keep changing manager. Yeah, so sometimes you are in the middle. So this is where not easy for me outside, but I take it as a learning process.
Yeah. Okay. What about the quality of the players between the local players, Malaysian players and Singaporean players? What do you think of that? Is that a big difference or similar level?
Honestly, here got a lot of talent. Yeah. But in Singapore, we are more disciplined, especially tactical.
Okay.
But here, they have a lot of young talent coming up because they are a huge country, because they are really fanatic. Like Kedah, football is everything, not study. So you can see from 6-7 years old, they don't really go to school. Most of my players, when I ask them, how old you stop your study? Some of them told me primary 3, primary 2.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
So the talent is huge here. But I felt it's because of the foreigner that make the difference, the league. But if you look at the players to players, it's actually similar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aidil, we heard a lot from you about your plans, but what are your longer term plans? Not just next year, but going forward ahead. Do you think that far, or are you the sort to take it one season at a time and see where we go? I mean, I know we live in a pandemic and all that, but do you have longer term plans?
Yes, definitely. I think for me, I don't like to stay in one place for long because that will make me more comfortable. I don't like that. I like challenges. That's why, in Home United, after I told myself, I won the AFC Ascenso final, I'll try to leave. And eventually the offer came and I leave because I don't want to stay with comfort zone, because if I keep staying second or just go to the final, then, I will never be improved. I want to learn more. And definitely for me, longer terms, of course, one day I want to become the national coach. But at the right age.
Okay.
It's not easy for a young age to become a national coach, because you don't learn a lot yet. So the most important for me, I still want to go another good 5 years outside, if possible. God bless. Then I can tell myself that, okay, 8 years or 9 years outside, then I'm ready to take up the challenge for the national team.
Okay, fascinating. You heard it here first. Aidil's targets for the Singapore national team, 8 or 9 years, come back and come and knock it. Aidil, aside from the national team, I just wanted to ask you, maybe do you have any sort of leagues that you are quite interested in coaching in, targeting perhaps?
I told myself, and even I told my agent, after a few years in Malaysia, I want to move on. Either try, if possible, to get Thailand League or Indonesia League. Because to go through this country, I think for me as a Singapore coach, it's a good achievement, because these are our close country, and they have very, very good fans. 60,000, 80,000.
Yeah.
This is what the coach wants. Every game, you have 40,000 at least, the fans. Then that is your satisfying as a coach, because as a player, we do same. So the most important, you must feel that, every game you go with a good atmosphere, with a good feeling, and hopefully with the winning, then you can get a good, achievement.
Sorry.
Sorry, Raushan. I just want to be naughty here. Any offers so far?
Yes. At the moment, now I'm still negotiating in Malaysia, but I do get offer in Indonesia, but I felt Indonesia not at the right time because of the COVID. They don't really settle down. Maybe in 2 years' time, I think they will settle down, because I keep communicating with Coach Robert Albert, how things there.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
he's with Persib, right?
He's with Persib. Yeah, he's one of my mentor. So the communication is always play a big part, because we don't want to jump into a country and things are not right. So important is, like I say, I'll do a lot of research before I do something.
Okay.
Sorry, Aidil, I just want to ask you, going back to that out of your comfort zone, challenging yourself. As a coach, you've done it and to great success. So is it something that's lacking among Singapore players? Do you think they are not willing to get out of their comfort zone enough to challenge themselves?
I think it's all about the mindset. Yep. I think they have to always remember that, they need to sacrifice. Yep. Of course, I believe and I respect everyone have a girlfriend or wife, kids beside you always. But sometimes if you want to achieve what you want, yep, you have to let it go for a while, and after that, go for it first. Yep. Because I take it that as, myself, I look at my brother before when he was playing, he went to Johor. Yep, he left his family behind. And, some our foreigners, we look at it. So I think it's all about mindset. If you look at how strong is Haris Harun, that should be a good example.
Yeah.
He left his family for, I think, 7 good years.
Yeah.
After that he came back. But look at it. After all his sacrifices, he went through, he got good success.
And yourself as well, right, Aidil? Why don't you tell us about that as well?
Inshallah.
Aidil, I just have to ask you talk about sacrifice. You've been away for a while. What's one thing you miss most about Singapore? Don't tell me family, because that's obvious, but what do you miss most about Singapore?
I miss a lot of Singapore food, man. Mee rebus.
Hey, this mee rebus.
Yes, man. Mee rebus is my favorite food in Singapore, and here we don't have. Here's more on nasi, rice and gravy. So many gravy kind of food. So yeah, in Singapore, mee rebus is the best for me.
This one, by the way, hot debate, Hot debate. Whenever food, which one is best? Singapore food, Malaysia food, Indonesian food? All definitely hot debate. Where did Nasi Lemak come from?
Yeah. This Nasi Lemak debate, can we clear it out? Nasi Lemak, Singapore nicer or Malaysia nicer? Aidil, please.
Malaysia.
You are giving us a lot of exclusive, really, yeah?
Because they have different kind of Nasi Lemak in Malaysia. You go to KL, you will taste a little bit different. The rice is better. The sambal is so-so. But in Kedah, the sambal is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's so cheap. RM1 for one.
Wow. Habis, Aidil, habis. You say Nasi Lemak Malaysia better. Singapore national team cannot already.
It's lunchtime at the time of this recording, and you're making me very hungry at the moment. I must say that.
It's so cheap, RM1 with, one chicken wing, one egg, good set of rice. So you can't find in Singapore, definitely.
All right. Raushan, you got anything else, or should we wrap it up?
Now we can talk about food if you want. No, I'm kidding. Nothing else, Rosh. Take it away.
All right. Thanks, Aidil, so much for your time. Some wonderful answers, excellent insight in there. And if you're tuning in, I hope you really enjoyed that show. I know we did. Aidil, all the best with the Malaysia Cup that's coming up, and all the best for your future as well. We'll be keeping an eye out on your career going forward. Thanks, Aidil.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aidil. Keep flying the flag high for us. We'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Sign off. Thank you.